Have you ever looked at an object in your home and felt uneasy, as if it were carrying more energy than it should? Perhaps you've had moments when certain items, even ordinary ones, seem to draw you into a deeper state of reflection or discomfort. You may wonder, could this be just my imagination? Or is there something more to it, something that transcends the physical world? In the teachings of Father Pio, there's a profound understanding of the power objects hold over our lives. It's not just about their material value or function, it's about the spiritual energy they carry. These objects can either uplift us or weigh us down. One object in particular, which we all have in our homes, was specifically warned against by Father Pio. But what exactly is it, and why did he caution against keeping it in our space? This spiritual warning isn't just a random tidbit of advice. It's a lesson about the unseen forces that surround us. Father Pio's teachings remind us that we live not just in the physical realm, but in a spiritual realm full of unseen energies that influence our thoughts, emotions, and even the environment we live in. And while we cannot always see these energies, their effects are felt every day, often in the most subtle ways. One of the most commonly overlooked sources of these energies is something many of us have in our homes without a second thought: mirrors. While these everyday items might seem harmless, something we use to check our appearance or decorate a room, Father Pio warned that mirrors carry a unique spiritual energy. Their reflective nature can act as a portal, either inviting positive or negative energy into the space they occupy. So, what exactly makes mirrors so powerful? And how can understanding this spiritual warning help you protect your home from unwanted negative energy? Let's dive into the mystical side of mirrors and explore why Father Pio considered them more than just reflective glass. To truly grasp the wisdom behind Padre Pio's warnings, it's important to recognize how deeply aware he was of the invisible forces that shape our daily lives. He was not just a spiritual leader, but someone who lived closely with the reality of the unseen world, the spiritual realm. In his life, Padre Pio witnessed how energies, both good and bad, could manifest in even the simplest aspects of life. This profound awareness shaped everything around him, from his personal practices to his advice about the environment we live in. Our homes, for instance, aren't just physical spaces. They are much more. They are places where spiritual energies can gather and interact. Padre Pio often spoke about how the objects within a space, things we might consider neutral, can absorb or radiate energy. From the way a room feels when you enter it to the way you experience peace or tension in certain areas, everything is influenced by what surrounds us. Objects, as spiritual tools, are not just inanimate things. They carry with them the vibrations of what has come before and what surrounds them. Padre Pio's guidance on this wasn't meant to instill fear, but awareness. Some items, like mirrors, were ones he specifically warned against. While mirrors may seem harmless, they hold the potential to act as mirrors of the spiritual world, reflecting not just what we see with our eyes, but also amplifying energies that may not be visible. This is why Padre Pio took the time to point out their spiritual implications, cautioning against their unchecked use. Mirrors are common in many homes, often placed in rooms to enhance light, add decor, or help with personal care. But the simple act of looking into a mirror is an invitation to connect with a deeper level of awareness, something that Padre Pio was very cautious about. He believed that mirrors could act as amplifiers, not just reflecting light, but spiritual energies that could shift the mood of a space, sometimes in negative ways. Understanding this dynamic is key. By placing a mirror in certain spots, such as in the bedroom or directly facing a door, Padre Pio knew it could open a channel for the negative energies to flow, disrupting the harmony in a home. This is not about superstition. It's about awareness of how the environment can influence our spiritual and emotional state, both consciously and unconsciously. Mirrors are more than mere reflectors of light. They are powerful tools that interact with the spiritual realm. Though they seem harmless, they can be conduits for the energy that surrounds them, amplifying both positive and negative forces. Padre Pio's warning about mirrors wasn't just about their reflective properties. It was about their ability to capture, hold, and reflect back energies that we cannot always see, but can certainly feel. The spiritual energy of mirrors is a concept that dates back to ancient times, long before Padre Pio cautioned against them. In many cultures, mirrors have been seen as symbols of self-reflection, but also as gateways to other dimensions, both the spiritual realm and the emotional landscapes of those who gaze into them. Mirrors invite us to look deeper, to consider what lies beyond the surface. But as Padre Pio observed, this deeper reflection isn't always beneficial. It can invite unseen energies into the home or reflect back to us negative emotions, anxiety, or spiritual unrest. Consider this: how often do you feel different when standing in front of a mirror? You might not consciously realize it, but the mirror has the potential to affect your mood. If it reflects a room filled with clutter, it can amplify feelings of chaos. If it reflects a space of peace, it can add to that tranquility. This interplay between mirrors and our emotions is exactly why Padre Pio's teachings on the placement of mirrors were so significant. He understood that we live surrounded by energies, some welcome, some not, and mirrors can act as amplifiers for whatever they reflect. A common example that Padre Pio would have cautioned against is placing a mirror facing the front door or directly across from the bed. These positions are believed to disrupt the flow of energy, especially in the places we need to feel the most grounded, like our entryways and resting areas. The doorway is where energy enters a home, and the bedroom is where we rest and recharge. If a mirror faces these areas, it can metaphorically invite spiritual disturbances into the home, reflecting chaos or discomfort right where we seek peace and stability. Furthermore, mirrors and spirituality are linked through the way they capture and reflect our inner state. If you place a mirror in an area where you struggle emotionally or spiritually, you might notice that it seems to reflect those very feelings back at you. This is why Padre Pio recommended being mindful of where mirrors are placed. By carefully choosing where to position mirrors, we can better manage the spiritual energy of our home and ensure that these reflective surfaces don't inadvertently amplify negative emotions or energies. On a practical level, Padre Pio's teachings on mirrors encourage us to take a closer look at the role of our environment in our spiritual lives. Consider how your living space makes you feel. Do the mirrors in your home enhance peace, or do they reflect back tension, clutter, or emotional unrest? If a room feels heavy or off, it might be worth considering whether the mirrors in that space are amplifying the energy you don't want there. Sometimes, simply moving a mirror or covering it during times of rest can make a profound difference in the way energy flows through your space. At the same time, it's important to remember that mirrors can also have positive spiritual uses. When placed mindfully, they can enhance the flow of light and energy in a room, reflecting beauty and light back into the space. Father Pio wasn't advising against mirrors altogether. He was guiding us to understand the importance of mindful placement, recognizing that some objects, like mirrors, have a much deeper spiritual impact than we may initially realize. Now that we've explored the power of mirrors and the impact they can have on the spiritual realm, it's important to focus on how we can protect ourselves and our homes from negative energy. Father Pio's teachings weren't just about pointing out the potential dangers. He also provided guidance on how to cultivate a space that fosters peace, positivity, and spiritual protection. The goal is to understand that while mirrors and other objects may carry spiritual energy, we hold the power to direct that energy in a way that supports our well-being. The first step in creating a spiritually protected home is awareness. Father Pio emphasized the importance of recognizing and understanding the energy around us. Once we are aware of the potential impact of objects like mirrors, we can begin to make intentional choices that enhance the atmosphere in our homes. The simple act of being mindful of where and how objects are placed can create a profound shift in the overall energy of a space. Start by evaluating the mirrors in your home. Are they placed in areas where they can reflect light and energy in a positive way? Or are they reflecting chaos, darkness, or clutter? As Father Pio would suggest, mirrors should be placed in spaces where they reflect calm and peace, not in high-traffic areas where they could absorb negative energy. One practical suggestion is to cover or move mirrors in spaces like the bedroom or near entryways, especially if you feel uneasy or unsettled in these areas. By doing so, you limit the mirror's ability to reflect negative energy and disrupt the balance in your home. Beyond mirrors, spiritual protection in a home extends to the overall energy we invite into our space. Father Pio advocated for spiritual practices that help clear and purify a home, creating an environment where divine energy can flow freely. For instance, regular prayer, meditation, or simple acts of kindness and gratitude can shift the energy of a space. The act of blessing your home, asking for protection, and inviting divine guidance can create a powerful energetic shield around your space. Another powerful technique Father Pio used to protect his surroundings was the practice of spiritual cleansing. Just as we tidy up our homes to keep them physically clean, we must also cleanse them spiritually. Burning sage, using holy water, or even placing spiritual symbols around the house are ways to protect the space from unwanted energy. These practices aren't just symbolic. They serve as tangible actions that invite positive spiritual energy while warding off negativity. Father Pio's wisdom reminds us that we are not passive observers of our environment. We have the ability to shape the energy of the spaces we inhabit, making them sanctuaries for peace, comfort, and spiritual growth. Whether it's adjusting the placement of mirrors or introducing cleansing rituals, these small yet significant changes can transform your home into a place of spiritual refuge. It's also worth considering the emotional and mental energy we bring into our homes. Just as objects hold energy, so do our thoughts and emotions. Father Pio believed that maintaining a peaceful mind and spirit was key to creating an environment of protection. When you enter your home, try to release the stresses of the outside world. Take a moment to breathe, center yourself, and let go of any negativity you may have carried through the door. This act of mindful transition will set the tone for the space and ensure that the energy you bring in aligns with the positive intentions you want to cultivate. In addition to physical adjustments and spiritual practices, it's important to establish a clear intention for your home. Think of your home as an extension of your own spirit. When you create a space that feels aligned with your values and your spiritual goals, it becomes a powerful force for protection and healing. As Father Pio taught, the power to transform your environment lies within you. You are the keeper of your own spiritual space, and you have the ability to shape the energy that flows through it. As we reach the conclusion of this exploration into the influence of mirrors and other spiritual objects in our homes, one thing becomes abundantly clear. The environment we create is a reflection of the spiritual energy we invite into our lives. Father Pio was a master at recognizing and navigating the unseen forces that impact our world, and his teachings remain profoundly relevant today. The advice he gave about mirrors was not a passing caution, but a deep spiritual insight into the subtle ways objects shape our lives. By paying attention to the energy around us and the objects we choose to keep in our spaces, we can begin to align ourselves with the divine energies that surround us. Mirrors, while not inherently negative, have the potential to amplify whatever energy is present in a room. If a space is filled with positivity, a mirror can reflect that and enhance it. But if the space is filled with tension, fear, or anxiety, the mirror may reflect those energies back at us, magnifying the emotional and spiritual disturbance. This is why Father Pio cautioned against the careless placement of mirrors. They hold a power to either uplift or disturb the energy of our homes. So, what can you do to protect yourself and your home from negative energy? It starts with awareness and intention. Consider your surroundings, your mirrors, your furniture, the objects that fill your rooms, and ask yourself, what energy are they reflecting? How does this space make you feel? Once you gain clarity, take action. Move mirrors, cleanse the space, and bring in objects that support your spiritual and emotional well-being. Use spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, and cleansing rituals to create an environment that supports your growth and protection. Remember, Father Pio taught us that we are not passive bystanders in the flow of energy. We have the power to shape the environment we live in, and by doing so, we shape the energy around us. Our homes can become sanctuaries, spaces where peace, love, and divine protection reign. This requires effort, intention, and a deep respect for the subtle forces that operate in our lives. By following the wisdom shared in these teachings, we begin to understand the profound impact that our surroundings have on our spiritual journey. The journey of spiritual protection is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of tuning in, becoming aware, and taking deliberate actions to safeguard our sacred spaces. Each decision we make, from where we place a mirror to how we cleanse the energy in our home, contributes to our spiritual well-being. By learning to recognize the spiritual energy of objects, we can turn our homes into places of peace, joy, and divine protection, just as Father Pio envisioned. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden power of spiritual objects and how mirrors and other items can influence the energy of your home, don't forget to like and share it with others who may benefit from this wisdom. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more insights into the spiritual teachings that can transform your life. And of course, leave a comment below. What objects have you felt a deep spiritual connection with in your home? Let's continue this conversation and share our experiences, helping each other create sanctuaries of peace and protection in our lives.